What is your favorite animal? If you could be reincarnated as any animal you want, what would it be and why? Have you heard about this acting technique that Margot Robbie's movement coach has her do? For every role that she prepares for, she picks an animal and she has to study that animal and embody it 100% and then gradually pull away from it until only 5% of that animal is left. She did this for the movie I, Tonya, and she studied a pit bull. Tanya apparently is also a wild horse. Very interesting. If you were to pick an animal to embody, if you were preparing for the role of rock and roll president Jimmy Carter for the biopic that is surely imminent, what animal would you pick? Me? I think I would pick a sage old rabbit. But back to my original question. What is your favorite animal? I will share that my favorite animal, the answer that I typically give to that question, what is my favorite animal, is a ring-tailed lemur. And the reason is that they are very entertaining and amusing. Also, hello, Zoom Boomafoo. But I have to say, that is my ego driven answer. My real answer, if you pushed me, if I had to really dig deep, I would tell you my actual favorite animal is human. Humans are fascinating to me. Humans, as far as I know, are the only animals that really rely on storytelling to survive. There's a lot of scientific research out there that's trying to change our attitude about this, but popular wisdom says that humans are the storytelling species. A little thing about that, I feel very like there's this cognitive dissonance that's baked into the premise of being a human. We have storytelling programming running through our minds all the time, trying to convince us that we are not animals. But we are. We're the only animals that think we're not animals. We think we're something different. We think that we're somehow like exempt from the harshness of the elements. Okay, sorry to like take it to a dark place, but this week I was one of the evacuees from one of the LA fires. And I I remember I was standing there in my home as it was filling up with smoke, still deciding whether or not I should leave. And then when it was confirmed that we were for sure, we need to leave, we need to go, I definitely packed a bag. I for sure gathered my family and my pets. We did everything that we were supposed to do. But I definitely took my time with some things. I washed the dishes first. I made my bed first. I considered what book I should bring. I'm still, as I'm like waiting to go back to my home, which I do have, which is like lucky. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around what happened and what is happening. It's really wild. I feel like other animals don't do this. They just flee a fire. But instead, we do all this. I chose this year to try and post one YouTube video a week. And I started behind, and I was going to catch up this week. I was going to bank some YouTube vids for content purposes. And I'm still trying to catch up on that goal. I think that this all fits into the original intention of my content, because what I showed up here to do in the first place was help people who struggle to commit to certain behavioral changes, who want to commit to certain personal projects and they've struggled with that in the past. That's what I want to do. And I physically can show up this week. So I'm gonna try, even if this doesn't even really reach anyone, even if this doesn't end up being a useful video in any sense. I'm at least gonna try to demonstrate that even in times of crisis, you can still do whatever your human thing is, whatever that thing is that's inching you closer to the life that you want to live. If you're surviving, if you're in a safe place, if you're out of harm's way, you don't have to throw it all out. You can at least, I don't know, try something and show up for yourself. Pat yourself on the back for doing whatever it is that you do. What is your project? What is your thing that you're trying to commit to? You can make an effort, big or small. I was originally going to dedicate this week to talking about how we are creatures of habit, humans, and our environment is really important. Like, if you want to make good habits, there are things that you can do in your environment to set yourself up for success and promote those good habits. It's so ironic that this just happened to be a week where my environment was completely disrupted. Completely. In a weird way, I've kind of proven that point anyway. Your environment is important. Your environment is so important. And what your relationship is to your environment and the things in it, it makes all the difference of whether you stick to those good habits and systems or not. But I at least wanted to show up today to say that my favorite animal is human. We are very complicated animals. And I think that if we're trying to switch up our systems and set new patterns for ourselves, take on new routines, we really do have to take our environment into consideration. And if some sort of major disruption comes up, like a citywide crisis, that's going to affect you. And it's totally okay. Obviously, it goes without saying, if you're not exactly hitting your goals right now. Maybe you didn't do the ab workout you said you were going to do every week. Maybe you didn't meet that creative deadline that you promised yourself that you were going to make. But you are allowed to celebrate your survival. You're allowed to be sad about a tragedy and also strive for cheerfulness and joy. That's allowed. There's nothing in the rules of being human that says you have to be steeped in dread just because. you endured a trauma. You can feel a lot of things at once. Humans are very complicated and resilient. So, on the other side of a really difficult thing, it's kind of amazing the different ways that we can react. Like all of the city of LA, it's all hands on deck. Everyone is helping right now. That's what I see everywhere. There's so much help that it's causing problems for people. So I guess that's just sort of an interesting takeaway for me for this week. You know, even in the face of a crisis, you still got to do you. You got to be there. You got to show up for yourself and for what you consider to be what's best for your community, for the humans around you, for yourself. It's hard trying to sum up a thought about this because I do feel like the idea of YouTube videos these days is like they have to have a helpful nugget. They have to like be a useful tool for someone. It has to be something that a person can reference back to for their process or save and share with someone who needs it. I'm not convinced that anybody needs this except me. I just need it. And I mean, maybe that's it. I think that if you set out to accomplish something this year, one way to make it really matter to you and to make yourself really stick to it is to stitch it to the core of who you are somehow. I don't know how, I can't teach that, I don't think. I don't think this is an educational tip. It's just like a real time epiphany that I think I'm having. I think any time that I've stuck to something that really mattered for the future of my life, it wasn't like I it wasn't like I had to kick myself into gear for it so much. I guess maybe some aspects of it, like okay, let's explore this for just a second. I don't really in real life, like I don't really put on makeup like that. Not really, but I will for like a YouTube thing. So that is something that I actually have to get up the nerve to do. But the whole process of I said that I was going to post a YouTube video a week. The only way that I think I'm ever going to commit to this is if I stitch it to like my purpose. And look, it's not really like YouTube is sort of superficial. It's sort of the surface level of this thing that I'm working on. For years, for years, I have been trying to build systems for myself that work and that I think might work for my friends and people around me. I guess this might be, I don't know, an organic opportunity to share that I have a very extensive background in admin, being an assistant. I've been an assistant to many people, many different environments. I'm very practiced at holding teams accountable and helping people move toward a shared goal. I think in office environments, that skill is often overlooked or undervalued, but it's really important. I mean, it's the backbone of any organization because we're just people, we're just flawed, messed up humans trying to make it through. And I mean, really, like we are living in some harrowing times, yet we all still want to meet quarterly goals and we still want to hit unreasonable targets and grow exponentially. I kind of want to show up and show that I have something to offer that AI cannot replace. It is a human sensibility. Productivity in these systems, they only matter if they're based in a human's reality. We have to be able to help humans survive and thrive. So just to go back to my original point, humans are my favorite animals. They're the reason why I do anything that I do. And it's really important to me to remain connected. So thanks for listening to this. If you would like to keep in touch, you can subscribe here. You can hit like if this means anything to you. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm at Lorrankydank. And every Saturday, I go on Instagram Live and I do a co-working body doubling session where we do 2 Pomodoros, so 25 minutes of deep focused work. And we have 2 5-minute chat breaks kind of built into that so that we can have a little bit of lightness, levity, friendship. But you can also check out, there's going to be a survey. There's a survey in the description box below. If you feel like you need an accountability team, or if you already have a team trying to be held accountable for something and you're just looking for a little bit of extra guidance, go on ahead and fill out that survey. I would love to be in touch with you. I'm not like a coach or anything. That kind of makes my tummy sick thinking about that. I'm not a coach. That's not my vibe. It's also just not my skill set. I'm not a coach. I'm all the things that I told you that I am in this video. I'm an admin person, also a stand-up comedian where I'm supposed to be. I love comedy. I love writing comedy. And I'm a human being friend, but I'm not a coach. So just if you want to hang with me and you want to collaborate and you want some guidance, you want some support with whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, whether it's just you as an individual or your team, let me know. Thanks for watching this. And stay safe out there. Oh my God.